Assalamu alaikum guys, and hello to everybody else. So today we are going to be, I am going to be telling you about my pregnancy story and how 9 months of being pregnant and feeling fat and sometimes feeling ugly, how that went for me. So we'll get straight into it. So as I let you know on the last video, I found out that I was pregnant towards the end of July. So around that time I was around 4.5–5 weeks. Okay, so after that, basically at 8 weeks, so this was August time for myself, you do have your first checks. That includes having your bloods taken and just obviously going through the general pregnancy folder in regard to like your details and the father's details and like your medical history, their medical history, all that sort of thing. So yeah, so that's what happens at 8 weeks. So I went on August, I think it was around the 14th or something like that. I can't 100% remember. I'm just going to look at last year's calendar. Yeah, it was August the 14th, so that was on a Monday, and I am needle phobic. Now the nurse was really nice, so I actually became alright with having my bloods taken, but my manager went with me to my appointment and I wouldn't let her like really come in for the bloods because I didn't want to embarrass myself, because I am really scared of having my bloods taken. So yeah, I don't know why I look really white, but there you go. Yeah, so yeah, I had my bloods taken and I had all my kind of details and history popped down in my folder, so that became my antenatal booklet where all my details in regards to any further checks, any further like findings or anything like that was going to go in. So that was basically my baby, not heaven, but my baby kind of world where everything was going to be documented and detailed in there. Okay, so now we forward on to September. So I was around 12 weeks at this point, and that's when you have your first scan, generally speaking. So I had my first scan, and yeah, basically what happens is that you have an appointment booked and everything like that, and then you go in and you go to the scanning area, and then they take you in, and then you obviously have a scan. I was quite excited to see the scan because obviously it's my first baby. I think sometimes when you've had a few babies it is still exciting, but you kind of get used to it, so it's nothing that fascinating or that exciting anymore. It's just kind of, yeah, we're going to meet our baby, whether that's like your 30th, 40th, 50th, your 6th, or even more than that. So it just kind of becomes normal, but it was really exciting for my first scan. When I went in, I was really like, I was nervous and I didn't know what to expect, but it was really exciting. So I went in for my first scan, and I am just trying to find the picture of my first scan. It is here somewhere. I'm just going to find it for you guys. I'm just going to find the picture of my first scan just quickly. So this scan picture was taken on the 11th of September 2017, and there he is, Rayhan. So that's our little Rayhan there cooking away at 12 weeks. So that was my first scan. So that was around, well, that was on the 11th of September because I've taken a picture on that day, so it probably is that day, to be honest. So that was my first scan at 12 weeks. So I had another scan, and I will try and quickly get you the picture, just one moment. Found it. So this was my scan at around 21 weeks. It was not really the clearest of pictures, but I'll just take it out and I'll show you guys. It's not really the clearest of pictures. I won't take it out because I'm kind of ripping it. So that was me at Rayhan at 21 weeks. Oh my gosh, it's so weird when I look back to this. So yeah, just to go over that, up until 21 weeks, I didn't really have any cravings. I wasn't sick at all. I didn't feel weird. It was literally like sometimes I'd even forget there was something growing inside me. Now, obviously, I have had a lot of my friends ask me when they've been pregnant and things, what do you think I'm having? Now, I don't know. I mean, I have seen this a lot, but obviously I don't want to give anybody hopes and things like that, but they do generally say if you don't really have like your stomach turning and like feeling like really like sensitive in your stomach and feeling sick all the time, just feeling really like unwell, they do generally speak and say then that it's a boy. So if you don't really have any problems at all, then as in feeling a bit clumsy and a bit lazy and a bit like, oh, can't be bothered getting up today, they do generally say, although that can be normal, but if you start feeling that a lot, they do generally say it's a girl. But obviously it's whatever is going to come out of your belly is going to come out of your belly. So I need to get rid of this double chin. I don't like it anymore. I don't know why there's people screaming outside. There's always somebody screaming outside. So up to this, my pregnancy was fine. It was brilliant. Everything was good. I was enjoying it, just getting on with everything normally. And then, so 21 weeks, it was a Saturday. It was Saturday the, let me just go to the calendar again. Back to November last year. And I know that it was on a Saturday, but I'm just going to double check. Yeah, Saturday the 11th of November 2017, I had my scan at 11 o'clock. I took my best friend, well, one of my best friends, Halima, and we both thought it was a boy, but there was a lot of my family members thought it was a girl. But right from the beginning, I said, I think it's a boy, and I know that I'm going to be early. I just had that feeling. So we went and found out, and then I found out that I was having a boy. Then I did tell a few people, and I don't know if it was a coincidence. Some people could say it's nazar, like the evil eye, where you kind of unintentionally at times you do maybe get a bit too happy for somebody, and then you can kind of put a bit of, what do you call it? You can get a bit too happy for somebody, either for the right reasons. Well, you wouldn't be happy for somebody, so you're either going to like envy somebody, or you're going to be really happy for them, and you're not really going to thank the Lord for obviously their pregnancy going well, and that the fact that they are having whatever they're having. You just kind of be like, yeah, this, that, the other, and they do call that a form of nazar, which is the evil eye. I'm not sure to what extent people believe that, but I do believe this possibly did happen, because what happened was this Saturday. So Saturday the 11th, basically what happened was I went into hospital. In the evening because I'd done everything during the day, and then basically what happened was I was walking from my friend's house and I couldn't breathe. I was literally going up the area where I was walking. I was like that. So I couldn't breathe. So one of my friends came and got me and was going to drop me off at home. But then when we got near home, it was just becoming dramatically worse. So I got taken to hospital and they couldn't find anything wrong with my blood pressure, with me actually having anything wrong with me in regards to like having like some sort of attack or anything like that. So medically they couldn't actually find anything wrong with me, so they kind of pinpointed it down to maybe quite a severe panic attack. So I spent that Saturday night in hospital. And then basically what happened was I was discharged on the Sunday, and I came back home on the Sunday, and what basically happened was I was sat at home and I ended up with 2 little spots here, and then they became infected. Then this whole side of my face all started like breaking out, and it was like little spots everywhere. So I had an appointment at the hospital. Is it 111, 101? Whatever the number is, yeah, one of those hospitals appointments. So I had one of those on Sunday, so that was what, Sunday the 12th? yeah, I think it was Sunday the 12th. So I had an appointment on Sunday the 12th at the hospital, and basically what he said was he could see that it was becoming infected and it was breaking out, and he was quite concerned about what was going on. And by the time I'd gone to the hospital, it was all breaking out around my eye. So he said, obviously with you being pregnant and things like that, like, we are quite concerned because it looks like you've got quite a bad infection coming on. But they said there's nothing we can do at this point, so I'm going to make you an appointment in the eye clinic on the Monday. So I went down to my friend's house and I stayed there for the night because I couldn't cope at home. I was panicking, I was in distress, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like crying, I was like, what, like, I literally like hit rock bottom that day, and I literally went down to my friend's house when it was dark because I just couldn't face anything. And when I went to her house, I was like, can you turn all the lights off and everything like that? I just couldn't cope at all. So the Monday I had an appointment at the eye clinic at 11 o'clock, and at this point my eyes were closed. Well, that eye was closed because that's where it started, and they took me in and they did some checks. So this was around 11 o'clock in the morning, and they said we are likely, we're going to take you to the dermatology area, but you are likely to have to be admitted into Blackburn Hospital. So basically a lot of things happened. So I was there at 11 o'clock. They confirmed that I'd need to go to dermatology at 12 o'clock. Well, they said to me actually that you're going to go straight to Blackburn. So I was there waiting, and then at 2 o'clock I said, look what's going on. I've been sat here for 2 hours now and I'm supposed to go into Blackburn Hospital. So they looked on the system, but really I was supposed to be going to the dermatology area, and somebody was supposed to be coming to get me because obviously my eyes were closed and I was pregnant, so I couldn't see where I was going. And then finally I got to the dermatology area at 3 o'clock, and then they checked it and everything, and they tried to moisturise it and clean it, but they said, look, it's really, really bad. So basically what happened was I ended up waiting for an ambulance from the hospital from around 4:30 till 8 o'clock at night. I went to the hospital at 8 o'clock at night, and then they wanted me to be checked again, so I sat in the waiting room and waited to be checked. So this was like 9 o'clock, and then they checked, and then they said, look, we're going to admit you into hospital. So then they said, oh, go back in the waiting room. And I was sat in the waiting room, and then the initial doctor that checked me before, this person at Blackburn, said to me, what are you doing sat in here? You're supposed to have been admitted, you're supposed to be in a bed. And I said, they've told me to sit back here. And this was around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And he was so annoyed. He goes, look, you're pregnant and you've been in the hospital from Burnley, sat there since 10 o'clock. Your appointment was at 11 and you're still not in a bed. So basically he rushed the process, and around 11:30, 12 o'clock, I finally got into a bed. And then they went to take my bloods. Now, I am needle phobic. I am the worst person ever with needles. Oh my gosh, like, there is no... The real definition of phobia is me with needles. They are my worst fear ever. And the worst thing is that they struggle to find my veins as well. So even if they try and numb that area, obviously to try and make me feel a bit better, they're likely to struggle to find the vein by the time it's numbed. So it's really, really bad. It's very traumatic, and I always have panic attacks and I cry like a baby. It's really, 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 really bad. I can't explain how bad I am with needles. It's absolutely terrible. So basically they put a drip on me, and it was a course of antibiotics, and then over the night they said, look, we need to move you. So around 3 or 4 o'clock at night, actually no, I was in that ward for like a day, and then the next night, so this is like Tuesday going into Wednesday, around 3 o'clock they said that we're going to move you to another ward. But this was like night time, and plus I couldn't see, so I was like, yeah, just do whatever you need to do. So they moved me, and then this lady was just talking to me, and I didn't know what was going on because I couldn't see anything. So basically what happened was I couldn't open my eyes for about 4 days, and they had to give me a bath, brush my hair, and I could just about feed myself because I could work out, but then people kept checking. Like if I for dinner a lot, I'd have rice and chicken. It was halal, so I'd have that. But then if it came to me maybe having jelly, vegetarian jelly, or maybe a yogurt, they had to feed me because I literally couldn't see anything. It was really, really bad. Basically what happened was they came in, the doctors and everything, that morning. So what we're talking about, the Wednesday morning now, and the doctors came in and they said, look, we need to put you on a course of antibiotics, and they are the strongest ones. They are the strongest ones that we can give you because you are pregnant, and they might cause you a bit of like discomfort. So basically what happened was I was on the strongest antibiotics, and they were put through a needle in my hand, and I was on, first I was on 12 or 14 courses. So they'd split them over the day, so they'd give me like 3, I think it was 12 actually, so 3 of them drip bottle, whatever you call them, through my veins 4 times a day, and they'd have to split them throughout the day. So most of the nights, well, throughout the whole, I think 10 days of me being in hospital altogether, I was on a drip of having antibiotics put inside me, and they were even during the night, so they'd wake me up. So I'd have some at 12, they'd last until 2, and then they'd wake me up at 4 o'clock for the next ones. So it was really, really like annoying because I wasn't able to sleep at hospital. Yeah, so basically it was not nice at all. It was not nice, like, it was horrible, but they looked after me really, really well. And like when I went to the dermatology area and the eye clinic at Blackburn Hospital, they were really, really good. They really looked after me. They could see that I was obviously distressed because I couldn't see anything, and I was like, yeah, and then you'd have like this doctor running in saying, look, we need to have her bloods done before she goes downstairs or before she goes to a different area. Now you need to do them right now. And I was phobic of needles, but it made it a bit better because I couldn't see anything. But still, there was this one lady that I became really close to, that I trusted with my bloods. So she took them, but she had to take them like 4 times. But then what happened at one point was when my eyes actually finally opened, they said to me, oh, we need to take your bloods, and obviously I was really, really scared, and they were going to call an anaesthetist. Is that the word? I can't even say the word, but that person, you'll know anyway, you'll figure out what I mean. And they said, look, we'll put numbing cream on you. Now this has made my phobia so much more worse, because basically they said, we're going to put the numbing cream on you, and they left it on for 10 minutes. Now I didn't know that it has to be left on for 15 or 20 minutes for it to actually numb. So basically they tricked me into having my blood done. Yeah, so yeah, basically I had my bloods done, and I wasn't really happy because they tricked me into having my bloods taken, but they said that was the only way they were going to get them because they know how scared I am. So basically I was in hospital for about 10 days, and then I came out, and then I was off work. Well, to be honest, when I came out, I went straight back into work because I had to prepare for Rayhan coming and get everything together. So I went back into work, and then on December the 27th, I had my glucose test. That came fine. That came back fine, so I didn't have any problems with kind of sugar levels or anything like that that could affect Rayhan. And then January onwards, I can't remember the dates because there was so many checks, there was so many scans. So basically at one point they thought he was too small, at one point they thought he was too big, at one point they thought they'd have to bring me in early, and then at one point they thought there was extra fluid around him, so I was in and out of hospital like all the time, having checks. So I'd end up like going for a check like once a week, and you don't really have that many checks. But then anyway, Rayhan was due on the 2nd of April, and I was going to leave work on Friday the 9th of March, and that week I actually had a show at work. So basically when your body is preparing to give birth, you can have a show which is like discharge or even maybe blood. Obviously if it's a lot of blood, then yeah, it might be something to be concerned about, but if it's like just spots of blood, they do say it's a show. But I would advise, if you do get that you do still ring the hospital, because they might have to ask you other questions, and if you do have other things showing, then that obviously might cause a concern to them. So yeah, sometimes you can have a show when your body is prepared, well, getting ready to give birth. So when I left work, I was 37 weeks the next day, and so on the Saturday, so that would have been the 10th. And then what happened was that full week, well, the week I left work and the week after that, I was having really, really bad cramps. My manager even said to me, Aisha, why are you even walking like that? And I was like, well, basically, well, she didn't say it like that. She said, why are you even walking like that? And she was laughing. And I said, well, because I've just had blood. So she goes, oh, let's ring the hospital and check. And that was basically my show. And then basically the next week from when I went on maternity leave, I had really, really bad cramps the full week. And basically what happened from there was that this was Saturday the 17th of March. Yay! 17th of March. So basically on the 17th of March it was the early hours of the morning, and it was around 5 a.m. and I woke up and I was all wet. All my pyjama bottoms were wet, all my underwear were wet. But I just thought, okay, well, I'm not in pain, so that's nothing. So basically, I went to the toilet, had a wee, wiped myself, and came into bed and just put a towel between my legs. And then from there, what happened was I went back to sleep, but then at 7 o'clock, I woke up and I went to the toilet. And then the rest is going to be told in the next video. Yes! So that is going to be, well, it's not going to be my next video. My next video is going to be my baby shower, which was on Saturday the 24th of February. But then I will go on to telling you my delivery story. So I hope that you enjoyed this story in regards to my pregnancy journey. Okay, thank you very much in regards to my last video. A lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people found it quite interesting. And they came to obviously know a bit more about, sometimes finding out that you're pregnant can be a bit more complicated than just, oh yeah, there's 2 lines and yeah, I'm pregnant, let's have a party. So yeah, so I really, really enjoyed making that video, and I'm really enjoying making these videos actually. So I will see you on the next one. Lots of love. As always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you very soon. Take care.